guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to review episode 2 and 3 of season 2 of 20s. Episode 2 was called Special Delivery and episode 3 was called Killing Me Softly with His Song. This is just a review and a mukbang. I'm eating Zaxby's. This is my first time getting Zaxby's. I just wanted some wings, so I'll be doing that as well. And I actually recorded this last night, but like so much stuff was happening. I forgot to charge my batteries, and then it started getting late. It was getting hot. I saw a bug. Oh my gosh. Piece of shit. Oh, it didn't die. It still didn't die. Editing this is going to be hilarious. Oh, my camera's about to die. That annoyed me, so I was like, and then my head just started hurting, so I was just like, no, I need to redo it. So, and it was just a review. So, I was able to take notes on episode 2 and 3, and so let's get into it. So, episode 2 was called Special Delivery. Let's see. So, we have... Oh, yeah, so Zaxby's, this is my first time going to Zaxby's. I got 10-piece boneless wings. It was called the Wimpy sauce. It's like a mild sauce, and then fries, and then my drink, this blueberry lemonade drink. So yeah, this episode opened up with Ida and Hattie playing this knockoff Uno game, Bruno. And what I found funny about it that connected to episode 3 was how both of them, so in episode 2 and episode 3, they both played a game that they were familiar with, like their generation was familiar with. And both of them, both Ida and Hattie, when they were losing, they got frustrated and didn't want to play. So, and they both called each other out on that, and I thought it was funny how similar they are, but I just thought that was interesting. So then we have Marie and Chuck. Quintrell, played by Iman Shumpert, calls Marie about whatever movie, and I don't know how to take that scene. I want to say she was kind of being flirty with him on the phone, but she kind of was. It was like kind of that gray area, and Chuck was standing right there. To me, it didn't feel like Chuck, as far as the acting went, it didn't seem like he sensed anything. It just felt like Quintrell, and then that was it. But obviously more on that later on. Then we had the scene with Ida and Nia. Nia was practicing her lines, and Ida basically spoke to her about her social media presence, how it's non-existent. And Nia was just kind of like, I'm not really that person. I want to be one with the universe, blase blase. And Ida was basically like, no, you need a social media presence. I know Nia said something about, I just want to act. I just want to be a good actor. I don't want to be famous. I just want to be a good actor. And Ida's like, all good actors are famous, blase blase. More on that later on. Then we see Hattie talking to Lauren, the white girl, and Courtney, who is such a hater, but she came through for Hattie when Hattie's card declined at the little coffee place where Idina works. And so Hattie, her card declined. She's a little broke right now. So then we get to the scene with Marie and Ben. I was calling him the corny dude because I just really don't like him. But Ben, Marie at a board meeting at work, discussing what viewers want to see at the movie theater. And I have an issue with like Ben's character just because he's similar to the way they portrayed the boss, the white boss, I forgot his name, in season 1. He's very like two-dimensional on a lot of his takes, and so of course we're continuing this conversation about Black trauma. I don't know if he said specifically Black trauma this time, but just like trauma. And he's basically like, viewers want to be happy. They don't want to be sad. They don't want to have to think about their lives. They want happy characters, happy endings, happy whatever. There's just no nuance, and I wish that there was a nuance. Like, I don't mind them having that discussion, but there's no nuance. And Marie brought more nuance by saying, people do want to see something other than a happy story. They want to see their lives. They want to see other people's lives. I mean, people do like to be happy. Like, I'm kind of in that stage right now. Like I said earlier, I don't want to watch the Black trauma stuff right now. So I watch a lot of sitcoms. And that's just me right now. But I think that those films and those TV shows are still important. And I agree with Marie where, when you take a movie like Boys in the Hood, it's about a lot of things, but one of the things that people took from it was like anti-gun violence, I guess. And then also more three-dimensional Black characters from the hood, which was a positive thing. And Black role models in the hood as well. The boss was just like, I really don't care. All I care about is money. And that's, the unfortunate thing. One of the other negative parts of Black trauma films is there's just a money sign tagged to it. It's just whatever's trending at the moment, that's what the production companies are going to go with. It's not about actually telling a story. It's about money. Nia has her yoga class. Hattie's there. They basically talk about social media. Nia's like, how do you do it? How do you do social media? And Hattie just went into this conversation about, I guess because Hattie had asked Nia, do you at least comment on other pages, on people's pictures, whatever? And Nia's like, no, because I can tell when people are just faking it, faking the happiness. And Hattie's basically like, well, that's what social media is for. I think, what did she say? So of course Nia's like, well, I don't lie, I'm not fake, that's why this is not good for me, I won't fit in. And Hattie's basically like, well, you're an actor and you step into truths of other people, so just do the same thing on social media, which I think is BS. Because even going back to Ida wanting Nia to have a social media presence, it's like, at the end of the day, you don't have to fake anything. Like, just show yourself. Just post pictures of your life. It doesn't have to be an extravagant life. Just, post about your yoga class, post about your plants, post about things that you like. And I'm not trying to be naive right now, but I don't think you're going to get, I can't see Nia being fired because she's posting about her everyday life. Like, I think it's a slippery slope to post about a life that you don't have. And unfortunately, yes, like, people are attracted to that. People are attracted to the Instagram posts that involve money, private jets, nice cars, beaches. But I don't know. I'm just thinking about the actors I follow, and they're successful. No, then again, do I follow big actors? I think that I do, and they don't post about their extravagant life. They just post their everyday life, and they're good. So, I thought it was hilarious when Hattie was in the class and the white woman's foot came over to her area. She was like, get that out of here. I thought that was hilarious. Like, my favorite scene in the entire episode. Also, Big Sean, I forgot his character's name. He does a live and he's talking about self-love, meditation, whatever. And it kind of made me think I don't remember everything from season 1, but it made me think that maybe Nia was influenced by him because I forgot that he didn't even have a phone last season, and he's all one with the universe, nature, tree hugger type of dude. And I'm thinking Nia may be a little bit influenced by him. But what I do know is that I hope that she does not spiral out of control with social media. And I feel like that's where she's heading, is she's going to become insufferable. And I just don't want that for her character. This isn't hot at all. I just can't breathe for some reason. It's pretty good. It's not spicy. It's just regular. So what else? So then we have Hattie and Ida in bed. Ida is going over Hattie's script, and she gives her some constructive criticism. Hattie gets defensive, and Ida says something about, writing takes time. You're going to have some rewrites, which is obviously true, and I don't understand why Hattie doesn't understand that. But one thing I will say is that I actually took both of their sides on this. On one hand, as we saw in this episode, Hattie just can't take criticism of any kind. She's very immature when it comes to feedback on her work. At the end of the day, you're going to do several rewrites on your script, whether it's a movie or a TV show. You're not going to get it on the first time. And you can't get defensive when people give you criticism, especially someone who is a veteran in the game. Now, what I don't necessarily agree with, even though it's an unfortunate truth, is when Ida said, you have to write, you have to be specific in your writing, but it needs to be relatable. I really hope this person above me is moving out. I do not know what their deal is. I really don't. Can you guys even see my food? These are my fries. These are my wings. And I still have some Maryland in me. Oh, babe. I was kind of iffy about this. And, so it also relates to Ida speaking to Nia early on about her engagement with social media. And so I definitely see the disconnect between Hattie and Nia with Ida, and the fact that they just want to be artists at the end of the day, which is cool, but they're not really thinking about the marketing aspect or the business aspect, which Ida thinks about. And I honestly think that she thinks about that more than the art aspect. But I think it's an interesting topic and situation with this show, just seeing the difference maybe between generations, but also just between people in the entertainment industry. And so my whole thing with Ida, I honestly don't know what that means when you say be specific but be relatable. Like when she explained it, it was, my show's about black women, but everybody can relate to it. And it's kind of like, can they? Because what I heard, it just sounded like stereotypes. And it makes you side-eye when, of course, when she spoke about, okay, the execs that are going to be looking at your script are older than me. They're old white men, basically. And it makes me think about, the fact that it makes you wonder why Ida's scripts are more acceptable than Hattie's script, which obviously I don't even know I'm not sure if Hattie has even read her script out. I don't even know what it's about. And it makes me kind of side-eye. It doesn't make me side-eye Ida, but it makes me question why a group of white men would like her show, because it's very stereotypic, it's very exaggerated, and it's not good. So do white men really relate to it, or does it make them feel good because this is how they see black women anyway? So it's like a slippery slope when you think about relatability. I do think that black stories can be, because I really feel like with 20s, it's relatable. There's a lot of people who may see Hattie and automatically think, or Hattie and Marie and Nia, and may automatically think, okay, I can't relate because it's black woman, it's black lesbian woman, but she is finding her way in the industry as a writer. She's irresponsible, she's dealing with relationships. There's so many people who are going through that, whether they be white, black, or whatever. So maybe that's what Ida means. Because now that I think about it, like, again, I don't know what Hattie is writing about, but when I think about 20s compared to like, I just thought about that. When I think about like 20s compared to maybe like, gosh, I gotta give something that I actually watch. I'm thinking Tyler Perry, but I don't watch any of his shows. Like sometimes I think of Tyler Perry shows, I'm like, what can white people relate to with that? I feel like there are way more white people who can relate to 20s than they can with a lot of Tyler Perry shows. So that's why, and like I said before, I feel like Ida is the Tyler Perry of this world. So it's like, can they really relate, or are they just laughing at you? There's more relatability in some of like Barry Jenkins stuff and Lena Waithe stuff, as far as like family, individual struggle, work, relationships, than there are in a lot of Tyler Perry stuff. So yeah, I just thought about that. Again, we don't know what Hattie's writing about, but I find that a lot of the stuff that we see as the opposite of Tyler Perry is way more relatable than his stuff. And sometimes I think his stuff gets, obviously nowadays it gets greenlit because it brings in money. I don't think it's necessarily relatable though. And I don't think that Ida's stuff is relatable. I just feel like it makes white people feel comfortable with their stereotypes of black people, and more specifically black women, if that makes sense. Comment your thoughts below. So Hattie left. Then she goes to a coffee shop. Idina's there. Idina can tell that something's up with her. And so they speak about the situation. Basically Hattie's like, I got some criticism on my script, whatever. And Idina's like, so go back home and make it better. Which I do agree with. I maybe, like I said, don't agree with the relatability, but I agree with making it better. And it was funny when Idina says that Hattie chooses chaos, because she does. And then Hattie wanted to be shady and say, don't be mad just because you're not my type. Like, girl, stop. And she said notes are part of the job. And then she invited her to her writing group. And at first, Hattie rejected it, but then she asked her to send her the info, which is cool, because Idina's looking out for her. Like, come on. And I think she said something like, you know the right things to say to me. So then we have Marie and Chuck having sex. Marie is just not into it. I don't know what Chuck is doing. He's not even paying attention. And so Marie has to think about fine ass Quintrell. And what is up with Iman just stealing people's women? He's not really stealing them, but he's flirting hard with them. Like, you have the Shy with, what's her name, Tiffany, even though that's an open relationship to an extent. And now we have Marie. Like, what's going on, Iman? He was looking good though, but Marie had to think about him to even, get to that place, which is crazy. So Hattie goes, I think, to like some type of job agency. She's looking for a job. They don't have anything. I don't know why she's physically going anywhere. I would just look online for a job. I'm sure she could find something, but she ends up calling her mom, played by Kim Whitley. She's just always at that table. And she has said something about, you're always running behind women you're not supposed to be running behind, which is true. Also about, she needs to take Ida's advice on her script, because she has 50 million shows on the air. And then and so then Hattie asks her about this delivery job hookup that she has, and she's like, I got you. So their interaction is really cool to me. I think, so last season they did show them actually together. I think, was it at a concert or something? But I like their relationship. So that was episode 2. It was okay. Now we have episode 3, Killing Me Softly with his song. It opens up with Marie and Chuck talking about their wedding, talking about hashtags, and I was just thinking, like, this is why you haven't noticed that your fiance is not, is getting cold feet, because you're worried about hashtags and this image of your relationship instead of the actual relationship, which obviously we see why later on. But it's like, why are you worried about hashtags? Marie's mother got engaged to a guy she knew for a week. She didn't come to the engagement party, which is Whoa, is she overseas? She had a British accent. Then we have Nia turning into a GIF. I call it GIF. I don't say GIF, but a GIF from the show. I guess I was confused because, how do I want to say? I guess I thought they were in pre-production. I didn't know they were filming yet because they didn't show them filming, but maybe this is a GIF from the pre-production. Maybe it's a GIF from like a commercial or something. But that's the hot topic of this episode. Hattie also starts her, again, knockoff UPS job. I think it was BDE. I don't know what that stands for, but Hattie was looking good in her outfit. She looks good in brown, not gonna lie. So the actor Louie Anderson plays the person that she's shadowing, and of course I love Baskets, so all I'm thinking about is his character on Baskets. He plays the mom character and he does it really well, so that's all I see when I see him. But Hattie, she's just doing too much. Every job that she has, she's just doing the most. Like, I don't get it. Just take the package to the door, to the porch, and get back. Like, she's listening to her music, she's talking a lot, she's FaceTiming Ida, just everything. It's like, Hattie, what is wrong with you? You can't do like the most basic things. I thought it was funny that Louie's character said that basically the relationship between Hattie and Ida sounded like a hot mess, because it is. So then we go to Marie's engagement party, and of course it's just beautiful. The decorations are beautiful, the location is beautiful. So then we get to meet Chance, who is Chuck's old roommate. Him and Nia are just flirting. Chuck is kind of looking like, what's going on here? They get to know him. I thought it was funny when Hattie said something about the whole gender thing, because Nia was speaking with Chance about having a girl, then a boy, then a girl, whatever. And how did Hattie say it? How about you let your kids tell you how they identify? I thought that was hilarious. I remember On My Block made a similar joke. I just thought it was hilarious. And what I find hilarious about those scenes is like people like Hattie will say stuff like that, and like the other characters will just look and accept it, and that's it. There's like no argument. It's just like, okay. And I thought it was funny when Nia said something about Chance being her future husband, and Hattie said, girl, that is not your husband. That's not your future husband. She's correct about that. I mean, it could have been, but. So then we have Ben and Lauren. I forgot that they were even a thing. And again, to me, Ben is a little too two-dimensional for me. He's completely ignoring Lauren. Lauren is annoying, but it's just, I actually like her more than I like Ben. It made me think, though, because I know earlier he had mentioned something about black love, like the audiences aren't really, or black audiences aren't really into interracial love anymore, or at all. They're more about black love. So I don't know if that connects to him mistreating Lauren or ignoring her. Maybe he doesn't want to be seen with a white girl. It's not the trend anymore. So we have that, and then he talks to Nia about social media engagement, and he's obviously like more engaged with her, more into her, and it's just like I'm not for it, just because I understand that people kind of fall out of interest with others that they're in a relationship with someone they're in a relationship, but if he's treating Lauren like, yeah, she's a white girl, but whether or not she's white or not is somewhat of an indicator of how he could possibly treat Nia in the future. That's all I'm saying. And I don't like him, so I don't like him for Nia. And oh yeah, and just this whole party just consisted of people in relationships flirting with other people. Like whether it was Ben flirting with Nia, Chuck being worried about Chance flirting with Nia, Marie's boss flirting with her. I think that's it. Yeah, it was just a whole bunch of hoopla. It was just too much. So Rick Fox with this ponytail. No ma'am, I don't like it. So then Lauren went to Hattie for advice. She said, I think he doesn't like me anymore because I'm white. And Hattie's like, you're probably right. I thought that was hilarious. But what was hilarious is when she was like, well, he knew that I was white when he started dating me. Like, it's like she's acting like she's talking about her religion or that she's a vegan. Like, it's just like, well, he knew I was a vegan when he started dating me, so he shouldn't be surprised that I don't like me. Obviously, she should leave him. I think, is that what Hattie said? I think she told him to leave him, obviously, but I don't know how long they've been together. And then she talked about how, she has a room open, and Hattie basically takes down the details because she might use this as a backup plan. And I think Lauren said roomies, and Hattie said calm down. So then we also have Hattie and Ida playing jacks, which is more from Ida's generation. I know about jacks. I actually would play it on the computer, which is obviously a lot easier than playing it in real. I don't see how people play it in real life, but I think these two women had matching cross color fits on, so it is official. I don't know where you find cross color anything, like where you find cross color hats, cross color hoodies. I don't know. So them having these matching fits, this makes it official. And they talked about time management, which is something Hattie has to work at, and I just like, yeah, it takes work, it takes effort. And they sang Freaking You by Jodeci, which was a cute moment. So now we have the last thing, the big thing, the knockoff Moonlight scene. But we have Chuck and Chance again in a very beautiful location by the pool. Chance asks Chuck if he's afraid to be that guy, and it's obvious that he's really talking about straight guy, straight black man. He doesn't say it at first. He says it more as like, the man with the beautiful wife, kids, white picket fence. And what I didn't agree with, or what I thought was kind of inconsistent, is when Chuck said he was jealous of how free Chance was. But later on in that same conversation, Chance talks about flirting with Nia as almost like a cover-up for him being gay. It's one thing if he was bisexual, but I think that they're pushing here that both of them are gay. So he's not that free. If he was free, he wouldn't. There's nothing against a gay man flirting with a straight woman or saying that she's attractive, but I think the way that he was doing it wasn't like, I'm openly gay. But also there's the fact that he doesn't need to tell anybody his sexuality, but him flirting with her, I think, was supposed to represent him hiding his gayness. That's what I thought. If you think differently, then comment below. But I think Chance told Chuck that he could be free, and Chuck's like, have you seen my parents? Now I don't know if there were too many indicators that Chuck's parents were like, super conservative. I didn't get that from them from the first season or this season, not from personal experience, but I'm sure it's very hard, even if your parents are liberal, it can be very hard to come out to them, especially at this age, especially when you're engaged to a woman that you've been dating for a while. So then we have this Moonlight moment of, for one, they talked about how they kissed back in college, and then Chance asked Chuck, you haven't touched another guy since our situation. And so Chance had said something like, do you ever think about what our lives could have been if we didn't have so much to live up to, which is, which is unfortunate. And of course, Chuck talks about being a good black son. They kiss, and Chance says that Chuck should be more honest with Marie, and Chuck says it's scary because he doesn't want to lose her, which is first of all, like I said, I don't like the storyline at all. And it actually made me think about when Chuck said, this is my roommate, and then later on they revealed that they kissed. It made me think of Insecure. I think it was season 1 where Molly was dating the guy who had revealed to her that he had a sexual experience with a male roommate in college, but it didn't really do anything for him, and he identifies as straight. And to me, like, that storyline is a lot more interesting than this. To me, it's just the same old. There's a little more depth to it because we get the perspective of Chuck instead of just the perspective of Marie, maybe walking in on her husband with another man. So the good thing is that we get to see his perspective and how hard it is for him to come out to his parents, because that's why I don't really like when people talk about DL men in a certain manner, just because people don't talk about, specifically with black men, why they would be on the DL. It's like someone's on the DL, you're saying why, get out the closet, and then when they're out of the closet, you're insulting them, ostracizing them, kicking them out of your family, your church, whatever, and then you're saying, why is somebody on the DL? So I do think that this brought a little more depth, but the storyline is kind of weird. And then it makes you think, like, in a way, if they both spoke to each other, their breakup could be heartbreaking, but it's better for the both of them, because Marie she's not all in with this marriage or this relationship, and neither is Chuck. So it would be better for them to just split up. And, not saying that he needs to come out. He comes out on his own terms. But if they had a serious conversation, they would find that out about each other. And then maybe they could just be friends after this, instead of going into this very, like toxic relationship. It ends with him going to bed, and I think he was saying Marie's name, and she was acting like she was asleep when she really wasn't. So I don't know if she saw something, but yeah, so these last 2 episodes were pretty good. I just don't know what's to come. I think that Hattie and Ida, I don't know if their relationship is gonna last. They seem okay right now. And of course, Hattie's not working for Ida, and Ida had brought that up earlier, which I'm glad, because that was my whole issue. But I don't know if they're really good for each other. And of course, Marie and Chuck aren't good for each other. I feel like Nia is going down this she's gonna go into this spiral of, like, social media presence that's just not gonna be good for her. And I do think that, and I think that Hattie and Lauren are going to move in with each other, and we're going to see some hilarious scenes between them. And yeah, I don't, everybody flirting with each other. I don't know what's going on with Marie and her boss in Quintrell. I don't know who's better off for her. Of course, like I said, they did calm the boss down a bit compared to the first season, but I don't know, something about him I don't like. And then Quintrell, I think it's kind of just lust right now, so I don't think either one of them are good for her. And then Nia, I just really hope this thing with Ben doesn't happen. I'd rather them bring Big Sean back, which I think at this point, I don't think her and Big Sean are going to see eye to eye either if he comes back, because they're in different industries. And I think, like I said, she's just he's on social media too, but he's using it to talk about meditation and self-love, and I don't think that's the direction that Nia is going. So, and as far as my wings, Zaxby's, it was good, it was alright. I probably need something that's a little hotter, spicier, but this was good. It's just like a basic meal. But if you like this video, like, comment, and subscribe, and look forward to my review of episode 4 of season 2 of 20s. Thanks for watching.